Okay, let's move on to the question number 32. What is Nihindrin and how it does it work? It is the most widely used chemical reagent for the detection of latent fingerprint marks on porous surfaces such as paper and cardboard, which reacts with amino acid in the oil from fingers to produce a produce blue-purple stain pattern. Question number 33. What is the scientific term for nihindrin? The, the scientific term for nihindrin is the dihydroxy the, the, dihydroxide dihydroxidin. Okay. Question number 34. What is iodine fuming method and how does it work? It is one of the oldest and standard techniques used to develop latent finger marks. This method involves sublimation. This method involves sublimation of iodine fumes, which are absorbed onto finger mark residue, resulting in yellowish brown finger marks. Question number 35. What? And this is the last question. What is sebaceous oil? Sebaceous oil, natural oil, constantly produced by your sebaceous glands. Next.
Ako na, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm Police Master Sergeant John Michael V. Sorio. I'm 42 years old. I graduated at college at Urdaneta City University with the degree at Bachelor in Science Criminology of 2004. I'm 20 years in service including fingerprint technician. Now I'm currently assigned at the station of Asingan, Pangasinan. I already handled the 10 cases. I won all those cases. I also attended seminars and training as a fingerprint identification system. So let's go to the topic, the plain impression and latent print. First, bifurcation. Single ridge with splits into two ridges going side by side or the parallel to each other. So what is bifurcation? Bifurcation is the stream divided into two smaller streams that a bifurcation. If a splits company into divisions, that's a bifurcation too. This word can also refer to exact spot where one thing splits into two. Next is core. Core is a point on a formation located at the center heart of the pattern. The core, as the name implies, is the approximate center. The finger impression point, the identification, ridge ending, bifurcation, enclosure, and short ridge dot, ridge ending point where a friction ridge ends. Next is delta. The delta is the point of the ridge at the in front of the nearest, the center of the divergence of the type line. Next, ridge ending termination of like a ridge ending defined as a point where a ridge is end abruptly. A ridge bifurcation is the defined as a point where a ridge fork diverges is a branch ridge. Collectively, this feature are called minity. Next is short ridge. A ridge limited length, short a ridge which are the significant shorter than the average ridge on the fingerprint. Minute pattern are the important in the analysis of the fingerprint since no two fingers have the shown the identical. Next is that ridge. I will form the ridge that is normally caused by the single protuberance. Loop is a type of the fingerprint pattern in which one or more of the ridge enter. no on either side of impression recurve, touch or pass imaginary line drawn from the delta to core and terminate or then terminate on. Next is island ridge. This type of minity describe a single friction ridge that begins continuous of the short distance longer than the within, then ends disconnected on a both ends. Next is hook, a fingerprint characteristic that comes out of the side of the ridge and suddenly stop in between ridge. um, from question number 1, what do you mean by the epidermal ridge? Epidermal ridge, it refers to the raised pattern found of the surface of the skin, palm of and hand, sole of feet and finger. Question number 2. Are fingerprint made of ridge? Fingerprints are made of a unique pattern formed by a ridge on the skin surface. Question number 3. What are furrows? It is the depression or canal between ridge. Question number 4. What is meant by minity? It refers to specific and precise detail within the ridge pattern. Question number 4. What value the minity in the fingerprints identification? They are significant value because they are provide in unique distinct feature that can be used to compare and match fingerprints accurately. Question number 5. How many layers of skin are there? The human skin consists the three primary layer, the epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis. Question number 6. What is the average thickness of skin on the palmar side of your young hand? The average thickness of skin the palmar side a young hand can can vary depending on a factor such as sex and individual variation. Number 7. What is poroscopy? It is the science that deal with the study of sole of human foot. Question number 8. Is poroscopy science of identification like fingerprint? Poroscopy is not a science identification like a fingerprint. Poroscopy, also known as pore or pore pattern analysis, is the study and analysis of sweat pores on the fingertips, palm, and sole of the feet. Question number 9. What is the ink impression? It refers to the method of capturing a person fingerprint using ink and surface typical a fingerprint card on the paper. What is latent print? It refers the hidden invisible impression left behind by the friction ridge of the human skin on the surface. Question number 11. What are the fingerprint pattern and pattern areas? Fingerprint pattern areas refers to the specific formation of arrangement of ridge, furrows, and other unique characteristics found on the fingertips, palm, and sole of the feet. Number 12. Can palm print the fingerprint use the established identity? Yes, print can be used to be established identity similar to fingerprint. Question number 13. What is idioscopy? Idioscopy is the study of the characteristic of the ridge edge for comparison purposes. Question number 14. In fingerprint comparison, what is the main apparent dissimilarity? Comparison, the term apparent dissimilarity refers to the initial observation of the perception of the fingerprint being compared to appear too much or have significant differences. Question number 15. It is the specific number or point to one must find order conclude the positive identification. The specific number of the point required to conclude a positive identification can vary depending on the context and the identification method being used. Number 16. What are the basics premises of fingerprint identification? The basic premises of the fingerprint identification, also known as a fingerprint analysis or dactyloscopy, are rooted in a unique and permanence of fingerprint. Number 17. Is fingerprint identification an exact science? If yes, then why would two examiners differ and their opinion? Fingerprint identification is not considered the exact science in the sense that it that knows provide a definitive, absolutely outcome without any room for interpretation or disagreement. Number 18. Could determine exactly the Latin impression? No, it is not impossible to determine the exact age of Latin impression, such as a fingerprint left at a crime scene. Number 19. What is the Latin print transfer? What is the Latin print transfer card? A Latin print transfer card, also known as a fingerprint transfer card, is a tool used in a forensic science to collect the preserved Latin fingerprint. Number 20. How is Latin print lifting done? Latin print lifting is the technique used to physically remove a Latin fingerprint from a surface and transfer into lifting a material for further examination and analysis. Number 21. What is a transfer lifting tape? It is a specialized tool used in forensic science to lift the Latin fingerprint from surface further examination and analysis. Number 22. What is method employed in the development of Latin print and how they work? The various methods are employed in develop Latin print, aiming to enhance the visibility and make them suitable for analysis and comparison, like the powder dust and chemical method. Number 23. How long will Latin print last? The duration for which the Latin print can last depends on various factors, including the environmental condition, the surface on which print deposited, and the quality of the Latin print. It's Latin print itself. Number 24. What is meant by smudge print? Is smudge print the okay? Number 25. What is meant by smudge print is the smudge print that the same as a print of no value. A smudge print, also known as a smudge print, refers to the fingerprint impression that has been distorted, blurred, or partially obliterated clarity and detail. Number 26. How many points of identification are found in a normal rolled impression? In a normal roll impression, there are typically minimum and 12 points of identification are used for the systematic comparison identification of fingerprint. Number 27. What is the natural dissimilarity? Refer to the inherent differences of variation as exist natural among individual or elements within the particular population or system. Number 28. What are the focal point and fingerprint of the value? The value are they. In a fingerprint analysis, focal point are the specific region are the areas within the fingerprint pattern as exhibit distinctive characteristic. Number 29. Can be fingerprint be forged? Yes. He under the legal yes. If he under is under arrest. Number 30. Can you tell in the instance and the print has been forged? It is important to note that determining whether a fingerprint has been forged, altered is a task that requires the expertise of the quality forensic examiner. Number 31. It is possible that a prints you found developed are the forged prints. Determining whether fingerprint or many forensics evidence and the forged out identity requires mm, a comprehensive examination by the qualified forensics expert. Number 32. What is anhydrine and how does it work? Anhydrine is a chemical compound that is commonly used in forensic science for for the detection and develop of latent fingerprint. Number 33. What is the scientific term of anhydrine? The scientific term of anhydrine is one or two or three ident identiryo-1 monohydrate. What is iodine fuming method? How does it work? The iodine fuming method is a technique used in forensic science for detection and visualization of latent fingerprint. Number 35. What is sebaceous oil? It is an oily substance produced by the sebaceous glands located within the skin. Next reporter.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm Police Corporal Angelo. I'm 35 years old from Corsucan, Sorsogon, Pangasinan. And I'm born on August 12, 1992. And I am 35 years in the service now. I've, I've handled 7 cases. I took my elementary years when I was 6 years old in the year of June 1, 1998. At Corsucan Sur Elementary School and I graduated in the year of March 28, 2004 and I was 12 years old on that time. And in the same year, I took my high school years at Corsocan Sur National High School, and I graduated in the year of March 26, 2008. And I was 16 years old on the time. And in the same year, I took my college year at Urdaneta City University on June 12, 2008. And I graduated in the year of April 16, 2012. And I was 20 years old at the time. After graduation in the same year, I decided to start reviewing 5 months to take a board exam on June 4, 2012. After 1 month of waiting, I successfully passed the board exam in the month of October 21 in the same year. After 3 months of vacation, I started to apply for PRC on December 6 at Rosario, La Union. For 6 months training, I graduated in the year of June 8, 2013. After many months, I started training in Bisok for 4 months on June 30th, Manila Union, and I graduated in the year of October 10, 2013. After graduating from the Bisok, I started at Alorang as a patrolman and attend a meeting and seminars. And after 4 years, I became a police corporal. Then I started apply for fingerprint technician for 1 year and 6 months at Baguio City, and I got it. So if you can see in the presentation, there are the 16 similarities in fingerprint. Okay, the number one is core. Core is a point on a range where mission located at the center or heart of a pattern. The next is delta. The delta is the point on a range at or in front of and nearest the center of the divergence of the type's lines. Next is bifurcation. Bifurcation is single range which splits into two range going side by side or parallel to each other. Number 4 is range hope. Range that divides to form two range, two ranges, one connecting range, which split at the side it is extremely shorter than the other. Next, ending range, range ending. Determination of the range of light. Next is that a well-formed range that is normally caused by a single protuberance. The next is island range. It is a single small range inside a short range or range ending that is not connected to any other ranges. Next is short range. A range which are significantly shorter than the average range length of the fingerprint. Okay, let's move to the 35 question. The number one is, what do you mean by epidermal ranges? Okay, it refers to the raised pattern found on the surface of the skin on the palm of the hand soles of the feet and finger. Okay, second question. Are finger made of ridges? Fingerprints are made of unique pattern formed by ridges on the skin's surface. Okay, number 3. What are furrows? Furrows is the depression or canal between ridges. Number 4. What is mean by minutiae? It refers to the specific and precise details within the ridges patterns. Number 5. Of what value are they minutiae in fingerprint identification? Uh, they are of significant value because they provide unique and distinct features that can be used to compare and match finger accurately. Number 6. How many layers of skin are there? The human skin consists of their primary layers, the epidermis, and hypodermis. Number 7. What is the average thickness of skin on the palmar side of young hand? The average thickness of skin on the palmar side of a young hand can vary depending on factors such as age, sex, and individual variations. And number 8, what is poroscopy? Poroscopy it is the scientific that deals with the study of sole of human foot. Number 9, what is poroscopy as a science of identification like fingerprints? Poroscopy is not a science of identification like fingerprints. Poroscopy, also known as pore or pore patterns analysis, is the study and analysis of the sweat pores on the fingertips, palms, and soles of the feet. Number 10. What is a what is in ink impression? It it refers to a method of capturing a person's fingerprint using ink and a surface, typically a fingerprint cards or paper. 11. What is print? Print is refers to a hidden or invisible impression left behind by the friction ridges of human skin on a surface. Number 12. What are fingerprint patterns and pattern areas? Finger, Fingerprint patterns refers to the specific formation and arrangements of ridges, furrows, and other unique characteristics found on the fingertips, palms, and soles of the feet. Number 13. Can palm prints like fingerprint used to establish identity? Yes, palm prints can be used to establish identity, similar to fingerprints. Number 14, what is geoscopy? It is the study of characteristic of the range age for comparison purposes. Number 15, in fingerprint comparison, what is meant by apparent dissimilarity? In fingerprint comparison, the term apparent dissimilarity refers to the initial observation or perception that two fingerprint being compared do not appear to match or have significant differences. Number 16, it is the specific number of points to one must find in order to conclude a positive identification. The specific number of points required to conclude a positive identification can vary depending on the context and the identification method being used. Number 17. What are the basic premises of fingerprint identification? The basic premises of fingerprint identification, also known as fingerprint analysis or dactyloscopy, are rooted in the uniqueness and permanence of fingerprint. Number 18. Is fingerprint identification an exact science? If yes, if yes, then why would to examiner refer in their opinion? Fingers identification is not considered an exact science in the sense that does not provide a definitive and absolute account without any room for interpretation or disagreement. 19. Could you determine exactly the age of Latin impression? No, it is not possible to determine the exact age of a Latin impression such as fingerprint left at a crime scene. Next is number 20. What is a Latin print transfer card? A Latin print transfer card, also known as a fingerprint transfer card, is a tool used in forensic science to collect and preserve the Latin fingerprints. 21. How is Latin print lifting done? Latin print lifting is a technique used to physically remove a Latin fingerprint from a surface and transfer into lifting material for further examination and analysis. Number 22. What is a transfer lifting technique? It is a specialized tools used in forensic science to lift Latin fingerprint from surfaces for further examination and analysis. Next, number 23. What methods are employed in the development of Latin prints and how do they work? Various methods are employed in the development of Latin prints, aiming to enhance their visibility and make them suitable for analysis and comparison, like wonder dusting and chemical methods. Number 4. How long will a Latin print last? The duration for which a Latin print can last depends on various factors including the environmental condition, the surface on which the print is disposed, at the quality on the Latin print itself. Number 25. What is meant by smooth print is smooth print the same as the print of no value. Smooth print, also now known as a smooth fingerprint, refers to a fingerprint expression that has been dis, disturbed or partially obliterated, resulting in a loss of clarity and detail. Number 26. How many points of identification are found in a normal roll? Number 27. What is natural similarity? Refers to the inherent differences or variation that exist naturally among individuals or elements within a particular population or system. Number 28. What are the focal points in a fingerprint of what value are there? In fingerprint analysis, focal points are specific regions or areas within a fingerprint pattern that exhibit distinctive characteristic. Number 29. Can the fingerprint be forged? Yes, if he is under legal arrest. 30. Can you tell in all instances that a print has been forged? It is for that do not forge. It's important to note that determining whether fingerprint has been forged or altered is a task that requires the the expertise of a qualified forensic examiner. 31. It is possible that the prints you can found and develop are forged prints. Determining whether a fingerprint or any forensic evidence is forged or authentic requires of comprehensive, comprehensive examination by qualified forensic experts. 32. What is anhydrine and how does it work? Anhydrine is a chemical compound that is commonly used in forensic science for the detection and development of flattened fingerprints. 33. What is the scientific term for anhydrine? The scientific term for anhydrine is 1,2,3 or indanthrone monohydrate. Number 4. What is iodine? Foaming method and how does it work? The iodine foaming method is a techniques used in forensic science for the detection and visualization of flattened fingerprints. The last question is, what is sebaceous oil? It is a oily substance produced by the sebaceous glands located within the skin. Next.
Okay. Good day, ma'am. I am Police Master Sergeant Ontalan, Tiara Marie A. I'm 36 years old from Samon, Santa Maria, Pangasinan, and born on March 15, 1991. And I'm currently 6 years in the service now. I took my elementary years when I was 6 years old in the year of 1997 at Samon Elementary School. And I graduated in the year of 2003 and I was 12 years old on that time. And in the same year, I took my high school years at Eastern Pangasinan Agricultural College or IPAC. And I graduated in the year of 2007. I was 16 years old on that time. And in the same year, I took my college years at Urdaneta City University on August 5, 2007. And I graduated in the year of May 2, 2011. And I was 20 years old on that time. After three months of waiting, I successfully passed the board exam in the month of September 19 in the same year. I entered as a sales lady for 3 months. After my many months I decided to start training Bisok for 6 months on August 28 at Santol, La Union, and I graduated in the year of October 5, 2012. I started at a low rank and after 4 years I became police master sergeant. So as you can hear lately, they discussed already the 16 similarities in the PowerPoint. So I'm going to proceed to the 35 questions. Number 1. What do you mean by epidermal ridges? Feature of some parts of the papillary layer is dermal ridges. These ridges cause ridges in the overlaying epidermis called epidermal ridges. Those ridges and the sweaty marks they leave are what we call fingerprints. Number 2. Are fingerprint made up of ridges? A person's fingerprints are based on the patterns of skin ridges called dermatoglyphs on the pads of the fingers. What are furrows? Furrows resist areas between friction papillary ridges. Number 4. What is meant by minutiae? Minutiae points are the locations where a ridge becomes discontinuous. Number 5. Of what value are they minutiae in fingerprint identification? For good quality fingerprint, image may contain around 25 to 80 minutiae depending on the fingerprint scanner resolution and the placement of finger on the sensor. Number 6. How many layers of skin are there? It is made up of 3 layers, the epidermis, dermis, and the hypodermis. All 3 of each vary significantly in their anatomy and function. Number 7. What is the average thickness of skin on the palmar side of young hand? The thickness of the epidermis varies in different type of skin. Number 8. What is poroscopy? Poroscopy is a method of personal identification in which the characteristics of sweet pores on the friction ridge, impression of palmar and plantar surfaces are examined. Number 9. Is poroscopy a science of identification like fingerprints? Poroscopy is a personal identification method. In poroscopy, the characteristics features of sweet pores on palmar and plantar surfaces are examined and studied. Number 10. What is ink impression? Obtained either by scanning the ink impression on paper or by using scanning devices. Number 11. What is latent print? A latent print is an impression of the friction skin of the fingers or palms of the hands that has been transferred to another surface. Number 12. What are fingerprint patterns and pattern areas? It is loops, thin arc, and whirl. Number 13. Can palm prints like fingerprints used to establish identity? Palm prints are generally accepted by the forensic science community as positive identification. However, NGI searches results only investigative leads to latent examiners who may subsequently